Hi, this is Mark Stogdill, CEO of Hammer Fiber Optics Holding Corp., and I'll be presenting our business plan today. The first slide of the plan is a picture of our worldwide patented air technology, and we'll be talking more about that in future slides. So if you go to slide 2, this is simply our forward-looking statements. And then on slide 3, we start with our mission statement. So starting with slide 3, Hammer Fiber mission statement. This discusses how Hammer is bringing new ultra-fast broadband fixed wireless technology to the U.S. market. So Hammer Fiber is an emerging technology company and multimedia content operator that's entered into an exclusive licensing and distribution partnership with a European manufacturer on a revolutionary new wireless product we call Hammer Air. It's an integrated wireless network aimed at offering triple play services, which is TV, internet, and voice. The performance of the system is akin to that of a cable TV product, with up to 500 megabits per user, 200 HD channels of video, and over 5,000 users per base station, depending on frequencies can be connected. There is a dramatic capital cost advantage here. We are in the range of about $500 to $600 per sub versus $4,000 to $6,000 for traditional fiber or hybrid fiber cable buildouts. We feel that this is an ideal solution for Tier 2 and Tier 3 U.S. markets, where most often there's only one cable company or satellite TV or a poor DSL alternative. So moving on to slide 4, this is the dichotomy of our network versus traditional infrastructure networks. So as you can see here, cable companies and Hammer Wireless perform very similar in terms of bandwidth. We're both DOCSIS compatible. We're both currently running DOCSIS 3.0 or 3.1 modems, but the cost of our network rollout is significantly decreased. The television and standard services that you typically get with a cable TV product usually uses a proprietary set-top box and has certain types of limitations. Our entire system runs in a full app environment. We use the Roku box media device, we use Apple TV, and we use Android. So we're really sort of bringing customers into that next phase of media consumption, and we're sort of just fitting into the lifestyles that they're already adopting in terms of content consumption. Both systems can obviously do HD 4K, and we, like all of the major operators, are 3.1 compliant. But as the slide really highlights, our dramatic advantage is the cost per sub. Now moving on to slide 5, we give you a little overview of this unique patented technology. This is the most efficient use of spectrum ever seen in a radio broadcast system. The air system can receive 2 separate incoming signals at the same time. This allows for chunks of spectrums in different frequencies and different channels to be processed in one transceiver that's installed at a customer's premise. No product in the world exists today that can deliver the performance of the Hammer Air technology. We have several different kits that operate in a wide range of frequencies from 6 gigahertz all the way to 39 gigahertz. So depending on spectrum availability, there should always be a Hammer solution in your territory. And the channel bonding capabilities are also extremely unique, where we have the capacity to bond individual small non-contiguous channels across the spectrum allocation into a single contiguous 450 megahertz wide channel. As the slide has mentioned, there's no technology in the world that can do this. So moving on to slide 6, Hammer Fiber's business go-to-market strategy sort of highlights the 2-phase approach that Hammer is taking in deploying this technology around the country. In phase 1, we're focusing on Tier 2 markets here in New Jersey. New Jersey has over 3 million households and 700,000 small and medium businesses, making it the densest populated state per mile. Yet still, there are large areas which are considered broadband deserts, meaning they have less than 25 megabits of consistent service. This is an excellent topology, flat line of sight, shoreline, and very dense housing, which really highlights the ability of the Hammer Air technology to provide the quality of service that it does. And we achieve these distributions through a statewide fiber backbone and with redundant data centers in 14 different locations around the state. We use a Spectrum LMDS sub-license with straight path communications in order to make sure that we have the proper frequencies in place and under our control for the markets of operation. And our initial market is Atlantic City, where there's almost 80,000 homes, in the surrounding areas. And we opened up a retail space there September of 2016, which we use both as a showroom and an opportunity for customers to come in and to do hands-on demos with the service and the technology. Our plan is to capture 20% of the market share over the next 3 years, which is approximately 10,000 subs with a 20 million ARR. And we've identified 3 other tier 2 locales, and we're to build a 50 million ARR business in just over 3 years. Now, the phase 2 part of the project is a development project in which we partner with existing wireless internet service providers and other small cable providers in order to utilize their existing infrastructure and allowing us to run our wireless product on top of their existing footprint, and through partnership really maximize a wireless ISP's ability to compete in an extremely competitive market space. So our growth model over a 5-year period is built within these partnerships, and we are already in heavy discussions in order to enact said partnerships. And we feel that we'll be targeting 5 of them in this calendar year. So moving on to slide 7, this is just the corporate history and key events. I'm the founder of Hammer Fiber Optics, and initially our business was building fiber as a CLEC and providing fiber-based services in New Jersey. Our executive chairman is Michael Cothill. Michael comes from a background in wireless technology, and he and his teams have been working for years on creating and developing this product. And in 2016, we decided to create this wireless platform to rapidly capitalize the business, and we moved forward by becoming a publicly traded company. There's some other information about investment funding and stuff, and you can review that on the slides. But moving on to slide 8, talking about our service offering and overview. Our base package here starts at $69. In certain markets, right now we're running a promotion at $60 in Atlantic City. We add television services and phone services, and we're looking at an average revenue per sub to be about $100 to $154. We're using our world patented proprietary technology. We're running that over 28 gigahertz LMDS spectrum. We're essentially replacing the need for a customer to have a cable provider. We are cutting the cord, and we're creating a full broadband environment that we think is really what's going to be the next generation of delivery. So moving on to slide 9 here, this is just a quick overview of our current infrastructure, highlights the major points of presence we have across the state of New Jersey, highlighting the fact that we have 2 redundant fiber rings, which create diversity and redundancy in our distribution path, creating a very reliable customer service experience. If we move on to slide 10, this is an overview of the Hammer technology ecosystem, which is essentially using fiber optics in a ring configuration, connecting into major data centers and connecting towers redundantly that shoot directly to the home for what we call the fiber through the air access network. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how our network configuration, you can read this on slide 10. On slide 11, we give a timeline of our Atlantic City rollout. This is simply milestones that we've hit, which include the full commercial launch of the product in this month. We launched on January 17th, and the customer response has been overwhelmingly positive. Slide 12 is an overview of our board of directors and our corporate organization. Slide 13 is a pro forma projection between 2016 and 2019. As you can see, we're looking in 2019 with an estimated 10,000 subs and with a total New Jersey network rollout, ending subs being 36,100. Moving on to slide 14, this is our pro forma cash projection. Taking into consideration ARPU, we're showing and cost of revenue and the cost of content programming. We're looking at an EBITDA in 2019, which is a 3-year period, of 32%. Moving on to slide 15, this is an overview of the competitive landscape. So incumbent providers such as Verizon and Comcast are already in the market, but they're struggling to either sustain the amount of growth or to build new infrastructure and to increase how robust their individual platforms are. So this is a breakdown of how Hammer stacks up in terms of broadband reach, customer service, important things like cost, and it shows that Hammer is a really competitive platform, and the technology, whether we're talking about wireless or direct fiber to the premise, is capable of surpassing the abilities of copper-based infrastructure, and we can do this by significantly less deployment in terms of material and cost, which allows us to maintain margin while being very competitive at the retail price point. We're a local company. We have satellite locations in the market to quickly address the needs of the customer and to provide what we consider to be the most salient element of our business, which is high quality customer service. This also allows us to build brand recognition and trust face to face with the customer base. And we have an extremely robust platform. You're talking about the same content as the incumbents, but we also understand that the market, a good portion of the market, is really migrating towards a cord-cutting mentality, which is why we incorporate an app environment such as Android, iOS, and Roku-based set-top boxes, which allow the consumer to really customize their entertainment experience. And as a CLEC, Hammer can sort of pick and choose the markets, focusing on areas where infrastructure has been neglected and incumbents are being viewed poorly, which allows us to build brand recognition as a superior service provider. So moving on to slide 16, this is another side of the competitive landscape coin. We're looking at a few other companies that were operating in similar spaces. Starry, WebPass, which was purchased by Google, Artemis, and obviously Google Fiber announcing its move to wireless deployments. So really the key points here are that just about every carrier in the country is looking to move to a wireless deployment, and they're searching for technologies that can handle the increasing consumer demand for bandwidth, because everyone has realized that the business case just doesn't stack with the high costs associated with deploying wireline. So much of this really depends on proving the capabilities of the technology, and at this point, there have been really just a few technologies that have shown that they can handle this type of bandwidth aggregation. None of them have really been able to meet the performance metrics that Hammer Air Network has been able to demonstrate. And you can see from the headlines that everyone from Alphabet, which is Google's parent company, to the company they bought, WebPass, is really talking about fiber to the home being given up just because of the cost and how much time, and that the next generation of connectivity is going to come from a wireless connection. Slide 17, moving on to 17. This is just an overview of our board of directors. Mike Codhill and Mark Stogdell, that's me. We have Dennis Dahl and Don McNeil. Dennis is the CEO of Middlesex Water Company, which is a highly successful publicly traded water and waste utility company. And Don McNeil, who has 25 years of telecom experience. He was the former chief operating officer at XO Communications, and he's currently the CTO of EdgeConnect. This is Michael Seville. Michael is one of our private investors. Michael handles the financing of the business and is a very successful local businessman in the state of New Jersey, very well respected. And Stephen Mooney, who is in this slide is shown as an advisory board member, but has just been ratified as of January 11th to be an independent director on the board. And his background is in financial operations and capital market relationships. So moving to slide 20, we talk about our two-stage growth initiative, which is the National WIPS Partnership Program and our fast growth strategy. So the summary essentially is that there are over 1,300 fixed wireless providers in the United States, and most of them are members of the Wireless Internet Service Providers Association, known as WISPA. Additionally, there are 900 DSL providers, 921 fiber optic providers, almost 500 cable providers, and over 150 copper providers. Hammer's plan is entertaining strategic alliances and group discussion with all of these different ISPs who want to utilize the technology by Hammer to revitalize their steadily declining market share. And the reason for the decline is due to the fast and ever-growing media content consumption that's being experienced by subscribers all over the US. The current wireless technologies are just simply not capable of providing the capacity needed to fill the broadband demand. We plan to enter into partnerships with WISP all over the US, offering strategic alliance and partnership programs that are expected to grow rapid market share. And these initiatives will be aggressively marketed by implementing sort of special partnership programs that are structured to operate mostly as wholly owned Hammer fiber optic holding entities and engineered to minimize corporate risk, while promoting the explosive growth for Hammer and the WISP partners that we're really projecting over the next few years. So the next slide is an example of the structure. This is slide 22, high-level WISP business case. So right now, Hammer is in negotiations with West Michigan Broadband. Their CEO, Don Nordyke, and Hammer's management team are working on putting together a proposal to bring Hammer's internet and phone and television content and high-end wireless technology to Western Michigan. So the current status of Western Michigan is about 20,000 subscribers in the footprint, and the current revenues are approximately $20 million per annum. But we're talking about low-capacity wireless access networks. There's no opportunity to expand the footprint or to increase the service packages. So the Hammer value add is that we can increase subs by bringing our technology in, backhauling that technology with fiber. We can create a very sustainable but competitive business case, which increases revenue by bringing in cheaper internet, our own proprietary VoIP phone platform, and all of the television content that Hammer currently controls and operates in its own New Jersey network. And this is an investment which is essentially grown as the network grows. And our technology and our back-end resources is really the engine which drives the entire partnership forward. So the structure of the partner is we use our subsidiary, Hammer Wireless Corporation. And essentially we do a sort of a revenue share on the proceeds of the project. Hammer has an ownership agreement. All the assets are Hammer's. Hammer is 70% of the subscriber billing comes into Hammer and rolls up to the public company. There's no equity partnerships in the WISP. Hammer invests the CapEx, and we provide OSS and VSS remote back office services. On the other hand, the WISP doesn't have to sell their company, doesn't have to merge their company. This is a partnership vehicle, so they retain 100% ownership in their own company. They retain 30% of the billing on new subs that are added from the increase in infrastructure. There's an equity participation model wherein WISP can get some equity from us in exchange for certain services, and they provide all boots on the ground, which is sales, customer relations, and installs. So we align our interest and we create a model which significantly enhances revenue drive. So we move to slide 24, which sort of references back. And here's just a list of key assumptions that you can sort of look through if you're interested in the 5-year rollout plan and the WISP compensation plan. So slide 25 is the last slide, and this is our projected revenue over a 5-year period, assuming 25 WISP partnerships, 5 partnerships a year. And as you can see, some of the key metrics here are showing an EBIT by 2022, an EBIT of 88 million, revenues of 210 million, and essentially we're looking at a earnings per share of 64 cents. So this really builds a national platform. It drives a lot of value into the business, and we have an expectation based on our initial conversations that this may even be conservative given the number of WISPs that we've reached out to and have reached out to us that are looking to create this type of partnership vehicle. So that concludes the presentation of the pitch deck. I'd like to thank you for your time, and now we'll be moving to Q&A.
Okay, we're now opening up the line for our Q&A session with Hammer Fiber Optics. The ticker symbol is HMMR. And with us for the Q&A, we have Mark Stogdell, CEO. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here. We'll jump right into the questions. Our first question, can you talk a little bit about the advantages your technology provides over existing broadband providers?
Sure, absolutely. So, historically, broadband has been provided over fixed wireline types of assets, copper, fiber optics, to the home. There's been a lot of highly publicized cases of new deployments which have required or relied on physical plant being built in terms of infrastructure in the field. And where we differ is we're working mostly in a wireless arena, and for many years now, the world has sort of understood that the next to-the-home deployments would come from a wireless type of distribution, and the reason for that is simply cost savings. So what we do is, and what makes us unique, is simply that our technology emulates direct fiber or copper connectivity to a house. We're the first company in the United States to actually have a product that can shoot a triple play DOCSIS compatible standard to a home, and the benefit to that is cost savings. So we can provide the exact same level of quality, the level of service. We can push the same types of products over the network, but we can do it at a fraction of the cost of every other provider out there that's building this through traditional cable infrastructures.
Very great competitive advantage there, Mark. Our next question, can you talk a little bit about the progress that you're making in terms of your wireless deployment in the New Jersey market?
Absolutely. So we have a full network in New Jersey. All of our wireless systems are backhauled with fiber optics for capacity, and we have a full deployment on Absecon Island, which is Atlantic City, Ventnor, Margate, and Lockport. There's about 70,000 homes in that market. We're currently we went live very recently. We're currently selling internet and phone service to that market. We're going to start offering television services in the next month or two, and we're getting a really great response from the customers who are taking the service. We've had a lot of great testimonials. We've gone through some pretty bad weather, and there's always a stigma sort of surrounding any type of wireless product. There's an equation with satellite technologies that really suffer during certain types of storms and wind factors and rain fade and all of this other stuff. And our product really overcomes all those challenges, and the response has just been enormous. And it's to the point where we're expecting to really rapidly start increasing our subscriber base, and we're already looking at deploying in adjacent markets throughout the state.
Thank you, Mark. And this follows on fairly well to that. Can you talk a little bit about your actual sales and marketing strategy? I mean, how are you letting consumers know about your service?
Well, one of the unique facets of our service is that we see ourselves and position ourselves sort of in the same vein as what's known now as cord cutting. So there's kind of a migration away from typical cable services and linear television, those types of products that have been with us for generations. And people are now really consuming content over multimedia devices and buying it a la carte and viewing it in ways that have never really been a factor or a distribution platform in years past. And Hammer likes to sort of capitalize on that market. One of the interesting features of our platform is that it's a full app environment. We have our television app is developed on several different platforms, including Roku. We're working on a TV OS app for the Apple TV. We're in the process of finishing up an Android platform app, and that way you can get our content in a way that sort of fits into your existing lifestyle. So you're already using Netflix's and Hulu's and other streaming apps, and you can kind of pull it all together in this one environment that you're now really becoming comfortable with. So from our marketing perspective, we really go after that sort of demographic. People with certain sensibilities that are looking to kind of aggregate all of their content into one device, that are looking for television but are really relying on extreme levels of broadband to power all of these third-party content products. And we use digital marketing because that's where a lot of our consumers are already looking. They're in that space. They're looking for new technologies. They're looking for new services. So digital marketing is a very large part of our platform, but we also use traditional marketing methods. We have done everything from, radio ads. We have a billboard campaign that's going up in the market, and, we have a very tight sales funnel that we've developed on our website. So if you're online and you're looking for our service, it's very easy for you to find us, but also for people that, experience marketing in a more traditional way, we've done it in a way that we think will hit all the demographics.
Great. Thank you, Mark. And we were just talking, obviously, about the New Jersey where you're at right now, but what are your plans to expand into other geographical areas?
So one of the things that we've been working on is a partnership platform to bring our services, our content, our technology to, markets where the incumbent is either struggling to provide a very high level of service or where there aren't incumbent operators. There's a very large market in terms of geography in the country where your only option for television is satellite, and your only option for broadband are local ISPs using wireless or fixed line types of services. The offerings are typically very meager. The price points are usually very high. And what we've done is those ISPs, those wireless ISPs, which we call WISPs, are sort of struggling in that market space to hold on to their market share, to fend off larger Tier 1 providers. And part of our strategy is to meet with them, to develop a relationship, and to partner on what we see as a network expansion, where we can sort of create an environment where we can use their infrastructure to run our cutting-edge technology, to bring all of our content and services in, and to provide really a Tier 1 type of offering in markets that have never seen that type of product before and that may not see those products ever if Hammer doesn't get involved. So we're really looking at a large national strategy. We're proving our business case in New Jersey, but we see this ultimately spreading across the country in very select areas with very particular partners who share our vision and are looking to drive subscriber growth and are looking to have their plant utilized in ways that can really develop and add more value to the consumers in their market space.
Thank you, Mark. And our next question, what are some of the big milestones investors can expect here in the near term, say in the next 6 to 9 months?
So one of the things that's going on with Hammer is that we are working on several major infrastructure projects above and beyond what we've already done in Atlantic City. We're looking at, in the next 6 to 9 months, expanding to at least 2 new markets to continually add quality of service metrics to create even better performance out of the network. And we're actually working on a lot of things behind the scenes to bring different types of products into our mix, using different technologies that we have in development. So I think one of the exciting things you'll be seeing is we're sort of enhancing the whole Internet of Things type of market, which is, all of these devices that were typically never connected with IP, but now, are being sold, and, things like the Echo and stuff. So we're opening up sort of a retail platform where we can really build you a smart home. So we can come in, we can provide you with all the bandwidth you need, we can sell you products in the type of funnel that would really enhance your lifestyle. We're working with partners on that, and we're looking to provide a really complete experience And I think that a lot of those things will be coming online very shortly, and I think it'll be very attractive to people who are looking at us both as customers and in the investment community, how robust the offerings are going to evolve to over the next 6 to 9 months.
Very good. Thank you, Mark. A lot of exciting things going on. For our viewers, we were just talking with Mark Stogdell, who's CEO of Hammer Fiber Optics. The ticker symbol, again, is HMMR. And again, that's HMMR. You can find out more about Hammer Fiber Optics right here at redchip.com. And you can also sign up for news alerts on the company.